the physical proportions and the personal characteristics, gestures and habits, etc., are also of no significance. Neither is how the human dresses, because these things are just as purely personal as the personal interests and the opinion or the belief in which nobody must interfere and on which nobody must place demands, neither a male or female partner. Every human has his free will, his free pros and cons in every matter, etc., but also his free actions, if everything is right and proper. In this way, no human has a right to interfere in the neighbor's life if this is lead according to what is right and law and to the given order, and this also applies in the partnership because only in this way can the personal freedom be preserved. To dictate the male or female partner is not right and is a malicious intrusion upon the personality's right as well as a curtailment of free will and free decision-making. But now if ideas are conceived of a human, then all the things of personal freedom, etc., are inevitably questioned, because if care and attention are lavished on ideas in regard to a human, then pressure is automatically exerted on the other, and one tries to mold this other human with all dishonest means according to one's own model. In this way, ideas in regard to another human are therefore for him connected with necessary qualifications that must correspond to the harbored ideas. However, this means that for the human at whom the ideas are directed, the personal freedom is disputed or effectively taken away immediately. This is namely because the ideas demand of him anything that he does not correspond to and that he cannot do justice to, because altogether it is solely and alone another human's unattainable product of imagination that cannot be complied with if the human remains himself and protects his personal freedom and his peace and does not want to become dependent on and submissive to another who makes unfulfillable demands through his ideas. Therefore, a relationship or partnership can and must never be based on ideas, wishes, hopes and expectations as well as not on demands and not on rules, etc., because otherwise it is doomed to failure just as inevitably as when these things are revealed only in the course of time after a breakup of a partnership. Nevertheless, however, if a relationship or partnership has been formed this way, then it is not long-lasting, because in the course of time, an awakening takes place in such a way that, namely, the reality reveals itself, because with the imagined, hoped-for male or female partner, all those things that deviate far from the imagined ideal slowly but surely reveal themselves and come to light. The rule shows that if a relationship comes into being, then the human only shows his apparently best side, which, however, it all depends, crumbles slowly or quickly and makes room for the reality and therefore the actual nature of the human concerned, and the longer the more brings this to the fore. Therefore, sooner or later the ideal disappears, whereby a state of discord, quarreling, shattering, jealousy and sheer relationship or marriage horrors, etc., inevitably arises from the ideas, wishes, expectations and hopes. The end.